What's up, guys, and welcome to another Maker Monday. I hope everybody's doing really well. I have to excuse my voice and whatnot. I have been very, very sick, actually. I caught something, I don't know what it is, but I've been sick for almost 2 weeks. It's been crazy. But hopefully I can get through this Maker Monday unscathed, or at least without my voice popping or sneezing or something weird happening. But anyway, guys, how has everyone been doing? I've got a lot of videos done. I pretty much spent, while I was sick, the time just basically editing and putting together stuff. So I will be having more videos coming up. This Maker Monday, I'm going to do a little bit of a learning session here. Last time has been kind of some updates and whatnot. So we're going to check out, since I've been 3D printing a lot of different things and using the little monster and whatnot, the review video for that, by the way, is coming up this week. So definitely keep your eye on the channel. That will be released later on in the week. So now, so far as we go on this Maker Monday, we're going to be checking out, different problems that come up in 3D printing and how to mitigate them. I have this place right here, the Simplify 3D. This is a great link. I will have it down in the description. But before we get started, I'd like to show you something else. I would like to give a shout out to our sponsor for today, which is good old Amazon. I've got a link down in the description that if you go to it, you can check out a free trial of the Audible, which is a service by Amazon where you basically sign up for it and you can download any audiobook that you would like. They have tons of them. Amazon has a vast, just like their books and stuff, they've got a huge selection of different ones. And if you click the link down below and start your free 30-day trial, you should be able to receive two Audible books for free. And even if you don't like it and you cancel the subscription service or whatever, is no problem at all. You still get to keep those two books. So those two audiobooks that you got. So definitely give those a check. Check out that link down there if that sounds like something for you. If you're into audiobooks and whatnot, check that out. It helps the channel as well as gives you guys a couple of free audiobooks, which is, can't beat free stuff, right? So awesome deal. All right, so moving on. So let's check out what I've got for Simplify 3D here. This is a great place to show you because it has pictures to show you of some of the problems that can happen. So like bed adhesion issues, all kinds of stuff. So we start out with that. So like not extruding. This place also gives you different solutions to it. What it could be that could be causing this. Prints not sticking. We're going to look at a physical example here in a second. I'll show you that. I'll switch the screens here in a minute and show you what I have been experiencing with the little monster here lately, but got it fixed. Not extruding with enough plastic. This is something that can happen. It's your extrusion settings that you may want to set, as well as too much plastic. It's extruding way too fast, and so you get all kinds of gloop and warpage, the holes and gaps in it, stringing and oozing, overheating, shifting. I hadn't seen this until, at least I haven't seen this for a while now. My printer bot did this a lot. It was thoroughly maddening. And it's because it's when the stepper motors will skip teeth, essentially. Or at least that's what I've experienced, is when a stepper motor will maybe not have enough current to it. Because I know some of the boards, you can adjust the current with little potentiometers on the board. You can adjust how much current, as well as I think there's G-code for adjusting the current as well. And basically they just don't have enough oomph, and maybe something's getting bound up, maybe the belt's getting frayed, maybe there's not enough lubricant on the linear rails if you're using linear bearings or something like that, and it's getting stuck and it's actually skipping steps, essentially. So the software is thinking that it's moving a certain amount of distance and when in reality it's not actually moving that distance at all, and things like that. And so it can cause the entire print to shift. So I've seen that before personally. Layer separating and splitting, that's usually due to the height or whatever. The layer height is just way too big. It's bigger than the opening on your print head or whatever, and so it'll cause it to separate out. Grinding the filament. If you see this, what that is it's basically if your extruder is getting stuck. Essentially, if you get the plastic is maybe getting stuck in the hot end, then a lot of times it can't push the plastic out, and so it'll just grind on the plastic. The plastic won't move, and the gear will just grind a notch into the plastic. And usually here it's a loud popping sound usually, or it literally makes a grinding sound. In that case, I would suggest taking off the print head, the little unscrewable part, the extrusion head, unscrew that. And what I've done in the past, believe it or not, is if you can't run a little drill bit through it, like a little 4mm drill bit, and you can find those on eBay, they're not too expensive, the little drill bits, and you can run it through it. If yet that won't work, another method that I've used and actually does work fairly good is if you have a propane torch. If you have a propane torch, put the head in a propane torch and let it heat it really hot, and the plastic should drip out of it. Okay, now you have to be careful, don't burn yourself or set your house on fire, but that is another way of doing it. And then just make sure you can slide the filament without the print head, with the extrusion head in it. Make sure the filament slides freely through the hot end. Okay, make sure there's no clogs or goops or anything in there, and you may have to run a drill bit, just with fingers. Don't put it in a drill. You don't want to take any of the metal out, but just with your fingers twist a drill bit down through there, because there could be plastic on the sides that's clogging it up and it's getting hung up on. So use that to kind of take that out. Of course, clogged extruder, here's what it looks like when you've got plastic gooped in the end and whatnot. If it stops extruding in the middle of the print, I don't think I've ever had that problem. Well, take it back. I think I have at one point in time. Excuse me. But it was because of again, stuck extruder just getting clogged. Weak infill. I mean, they've got everything. Blobs and zits. I've heard this being called, zitting, where you get little bloops like that, and it's due to retraction problems. You're not retracting far enough. So it's pulling back, but it's not pulling it back far enough. So it's letting a little bit seep out as it starts the next layer or whatnot, and that can cause that to happen. But this is just a great resource. I mean, look at that. I mean, it just keeps on going. They just give you all kinds of different things. Now, one thing I want to show you, because this is what was happening to me recently. I think we have some time. Yeah, we still have time. Let me show you what I was dealing with. Bring this back over here. No, I want the full one. There we go. As I was dealing with bed adhesion issues, I had changed the sticker mat, on the TiVo Little Monster. I had stuck down a sticker mat from the previous one, but I'd had some problems where it got all marred up and torn up. So I ordered some new ones. Well, the new ones are a little bit smoother than the original one that came with it. So I peeled that one off and stuck one of the new ones on, and it was a little bit thinner, and I was getting stuff like this. I got even others in here, like this one's a really good one. I was trying to print, and this is basically the first layer is what this is. And you can see all of a sudden it starts out somewhat okay with the outside ring, and then just gets awful. And then even the next layer is just, see, and then, I mean, here's a piece of another one. And so I thought, well, maybe it was filaments, maybe the filament had a problem or something like that. So I changed from the clear filament to the yellow, printed the outside ring, beautifully. I mean, there's no, using my fingernail, there's no way of separating the layers. But then it started printing this inner layer, and it was just awful, and it was printing weird. So I had thought to myself that maybe it was, maybe the head was too close to the bed, and so it was scraping it all around or something or whatever. And then I tried taking it away and bringing it close, and then I ended up using a pair of calipers and measuring how thick this was, and it's right there around 0.2 millimeters, which is what I was printing at. So that wasn't what it was. So the only thing I could think of was this is what it looks like, okay, because that is what it was when you have poor bed adhesion. It was good on the sides, but as it made the rest of it, what was happening was this was pulling loose. The plastic was pulling loose from the bed, and so it was basically warping up. It was basically like this. It was trying to lay it flat, but it was warping up like that because it wasn't sticking well. So each one of those lines that it drew wasn't sticking down to the bed. So how I solved this problem, I still didn't use painter's tape or anything like that, because I mean, I've got that sticky mat. That mat should have enough rough surfaceness, plus it felt exactly the same smoothness as my Wanhao Duplicator i3. So I know that those pads and stuff can stick to it. So all I did was I was running this first layer in Repetier Host. I was running it at 55 degrees C back heating for the bed, for the heated bed, and 50 degrees for subsequent layers after the first layer. So what I did was I upped it all by 5 degrees. So I upped it from 55 to 60 degrees initially for the first layer, and then it would go on up to 55 degrees, then for the subsequent layers on up. And that perfectly solved the problem. Then it started printing fabulously. This first few layers, that was exactly what the whole thing looked like once I heated it up a little bit more. So you may not necessarily need an adhesion fixture. You may not necessarily need the hairspray or glue or something like that if you have one of those mats. You know what I'm talking about. They're a hard like mat that's sticky on one side. If you have a Wanao, you know what I'm talking about, or the TiVo Little Monster, you know what I'm talking about. If you have one of those style printers that has that type of a sticky deal for the bed, then a lot of times you just need to increase the heat. So just increase the bed heat if the bed heat can be increased. You may have maxed it out. I know some heaters may not be as efficient. I know the one that's on the Little Monster is a massively efficient heater. So depending on how good your heater is, you may just have to increase the heat a little bit to get that to stick better. All right. So guys, we're coming in on our final minutes. My voice is starting to get tired. I don't know if you guys could tell, but it's starting to get tired. But check out those links down below. Check out the free audiobooks from Audible. It helps the channel out when you subscribe, as well as check out this link on different problems that can come up, because they literally Simplify 3D lists like everything in here. Sheesh. Oh, let's get rid of that. But yeah, everything with solutions to it and everything. So definitely check that link out down below. It's really awesome. Check for t-shirts. I'm going to try to post my new t-shirt design and whatnot at some point. Hopefully I don't get sick again. But anyway, hopefully we'll get that out there. But check that out because I've got some new t-shirts that are going to be coming out. Zazzle.com/MISperry. It's down there in the old linkies and whatnot. But guys, thank you for joining me on this Monday. Hopefully you have a fantastic week, and take care, guys. Make sure and like, subscribe, share, and all that jazz, as well as find me on all the different socials. They're down there in the links, as well as come by the channel, check it out. If you haven't pushed that subscribe button, definitely hit it so that way you don't miss any other Mondays, as well as all the cool projects that I have in the pipeline, because I do have a ton in the pipeline, and being sick has pushed them all back. So I apologize for that, but hey, what can you do? So anyway, guys, take care. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care, and I will see you next time.